Welcome to the Grizzled Geek and Review for October 20th. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And this is your weekly Nerd News Roundup. We have...
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's quite a bit this week. The big news is The Punisher
Has a release
date, yes.
Yeah.
Finally, after putting it off after the tragedy in Las Vegas and canceling its New York Comic-Con panel, we speculated that maybe,
it might not be out this year at all.
That might this year at all, yeah, exactly. But they did announce, they put out a new trailer for it today or yesterday, and they announced the November 17th for release date. And if that date sounds familiar to you, it's because it's also the release date of the Justice League movie. So
Marvel wants you to stay home and watch The Punisher instead.
Yeah, I think it's more of a, if the movie sucks, you can come home and watch the Punisher series. Well,
make yourself feel better.
I don't think this will impact like opening night of Justice League.
No, it's not.
Justice League is a phenomenon. It's the DC's Avengers. It's going to be probably the number one, opening for superhero movie this year. At least.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean
that's probably fair.
It's going to be pretty big. Whether or not this impacts the overall weekend numbers, though, is a question because are people going to be return viewing on Saturday and Sunday, or are they going to be staying home to binge watch The Punisher?
True comic fans will binge Punisher all day until their movie time on Friday night or Thursday night, whichever night you go and watch Justice League, and then boom. Well, I guess Thursday night's probably not. Yeah, because there's always a show. Opening night, they call Friday.
If you're a comic fan, you're going to be waiting in line Thursday night, watch it Thursday night, binge Punisher all day, and then go see it again on Friday. And then on Saturday, go back and see Thor Ragnarok again.
Guess they watch Punisher on their phones in line.
Oh, yeah, they watch Punisher on the phones in line. Good call, Shane. Good call. Punisher on your phones in line.
All right. In more movie news, well, actually, I guess we were talking Justice League movies and Punisher, whatever. Venom movie news.
Not as good a segue as we're used
to. We skip around all over the place. Mike puts these stories in weird order sometimes, but that's
Let's pick out the ones I want to talk about.
Yeah. So the movie apparently is going to adapt the Venom story Lethal Protector. And we found out also that Reed Scott from Veep is going to join the cast, but no idea who they're going to play.
Yep.
And they have an official Twitter page now, @Venom Movie, with the V and the M capitalized.
Right.
So I'm surprised they didn't already have that. That's kind of late in the game for something that's already going this way, this far.
Yeah, and it starts filming soon with this, so we'll figure it out. We'll hear more. Yeah. But that Lethal Protector storylines that's where he had this truce with Spider-Man, and he actually went to San Francisco, left New York, and as long as he wasn't going to commit any crimes, Spider-Man was going to leave him alone. Okay. And then he gets basically a pack of mercenaries sit out and then try and hunt him down. So, he ends up fighting those. So there's been a casting call out for, mercenaries for the movie. So we'll see.
Interesting. All right. That'll be cool.
It's an interesting storyline. Obviously, this is where, if they're not going to have Spider-Man in the movie, this makes sense.
Get away from it.
Get away from New York.
But it also might suggest that they might hint at the truce so that there is a backstory for the two of them.
They have to at least mention Spider-Man in the movie.
So that'll be interesting.
Completely Spider-Man-less universe. Venom universe is ridiculous.
Yeah, that would be silly.
All right, so moving on to better movie news. Star Wars Episode 9. We know J.J. Abrams is directing it. Mm-hmm. Apparently, in recent conversations, they hint that it will bring all three trilogies together, which means there's going to be probably some prequel stuff.
Yeah, which means it's also they're aiming for a definitive end to the Skywalker saga.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's what that means, because all three trilogies have had to do in some form or another with the Skywalker family. So
yeah, well, exactly, and that was always said the main focus of the main trilogies will be about the Skywalker family, and then all the peripheral stuff will be with the Star Wars story tagline in it. So, yeah, I mean, J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, the writer, they both said that by the end of it, it'll feel like they're all in the same universe. So what that means, we'll be revisiting like planets like Naboo or stuff from the prequels or the characters or mentions or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, he's going to bring it all together. And he also, in the same at the same time was talking about how he hears the criticism about him just remaking Return of the Jedi. A lot of the criticism about Force Awakens was it was basically a remake of A New Hope kind of thing, and he's well aware of that. So he's planning on making this its own thing. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. It's Star Wars, so of course I'm going to see it, and then all of you will too. You know it.
Yeah. Even if the ultimate troll, Mark Hamill, is.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been trolling people with Luke's the bad guy of this series all along. But
they've been teasing the hell out of it, so we'll see.
He is, so, all right, let's go ahead then and switch to TV again and talk about the Arrowverse. The Oliver Queen mentions Bruce Wayne by name in the recent episode.
Yeah, this week's episode. Yep.
Yes, so Bruce Wayne officially exists in the universe.
Yes. Now they teased all over the place. The Flash, Arrow, they've all teased.
They've all teased that he exists.
Yeah, Supergirl even mentioned her brother coming up with a vigilante with father issues. Her cousin, sorry, Superman. And they actually had Superman in Supergirl, right? And if you all remember back, they wanted to keep. They couldn't let them use some characters, right? In fact, they had to kill off the Suicide Squad because they're going to make a Suicide Squad movie,
right?
Which is sad because they had a great run with that.
Yeah, they had a good team.
But now, after firmly establishing that there's a difference between the movies and the TVs and having same character in both,
right?
They're letting them use some of these characters. And the first one was Superman was the big one they let them use for Supergirl. So now, obviously, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think we're a long ways from seeing Batman show up in a Arrow.
Of course, I never thought Superman would show up in Supergirl either.
Yeah,
of course, that's a little more.
That's a little more direct tie.
Yeah,
a little easier to play up. But anyways, we'll see. I mean, maybe it would be cool.
He's going to show up and tell Oliver Queen to stop stealing all his bad guys.
Stop stealing my bad guys and my storylines.
Okay, 2018 marks the 10-year anniversary of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Nice.
That was 2008 when Iron Man hit theaters. Iron Man and Hulk that year.
Right.
Hit theaters. So with the 10th anniversary, wondering if there's going to be any kind of special celebration. Recently, Kevin Feige answered this question, and he said that this year they're primarily focusing on Black Panther, Ant-Man and Wasp, and Avengers Infinity War.
Right.
And that's their main focus. But there will be some kind of acknowledgement of the celebration. And he actually harkened back to 1987's 10-year Star Wars anniversary, where they had like some merchandise that came out, special, like stickers and posters and merchandise. And he said there would definitely be some 10th edition or 10th anniversary merchandise available. Cool. And he's going to, and he mentioned having fond memories of that celebration and wanting to do something similar to what they did. Now, the big difference is in 1987, it was like the dark days of Star Wars. There wasn't any Star Wars.
Oh, right.
There was, it was been a while since 83 was the last movie.
Yeah.
So you hadn't had Star Wars for a while there, so it was kind of, breath of fresh air, actually having some kind of celebration.
A nostalgia trip. Yeah.
As we're deep into Marvel at this point, which would still be exciting. I mean, whatever it is, I'm going to be excited about getting some. Maybe some.
That's like not being excited about an anniversary at Disneyland or something like
exactly.
that. I'm like, I could go to Disney every year, but it's cool when it's an anniversary. They pull out all the stops and stuff like that. So I think we're gonna see some cool stuff.
They mentioned possibly some re-release of some home videos with the 10th anniversary stuff.
That'd be cool.
And obviously some merch. Whatever it is, it's gonna be exciting. It's time to celebrate 10 years of Marvel.
Yeah, and make sure all of the. Maybe in front of, run some specials at the theaters, like in front of Black Panther, you can see Civil War, and in front of Ant-Man and Wasp, you can see the first Ant-Man. Do an Avengers trilogy night when Infinity War comes out. So, hopefully the theaters will get on board with this kind of stuff, and they'll have promotional material for that 10-year anniversary with the release of these things. So that would be cool. So that's it, Kevin. Partner up with the theaters. Give us some cool stuff.
Awesome.
All right. Back to Netflix. It's confirmed that in Luke Cage Season 2, we will have at least a glimpse at the Heroes for Hire, because we're going to see Cage versus Iron Fist Round 2.
That's true.
And, I mean, hopefully more than just a fight. Hopefully there'll be
they said the storyline is going to be Heroes for Hire. But
the
big news, I mean, the set footage show that they're going to be fighting again. second round.
Well, yeah, he's got a beef with him. You knocked me out and then got me captured.
Yeah. So yeah. So after Defenders, it left that open. So apparently there's gonna be another fight before they team up again. But it sounds like Luke Cage season 2 is gonna be like a buddy series with him and Iron Fist together.
Yeah, that would be cool because his was. Well, I don't want to see what. I mean, it wasn't definitely not the. It was the more lighthearted, the Luke Cage. Mm-hmm. I mean, it had some serious stuff, but he's kind of a funny guy. Yeah, he's got his quips and stuff like that. I mean, like Jessica Jones is very sardonic. Yeah, and she's got really sarcastic. Luke Cage wasn't really funny at all. Right. Neither is Matt Murdock. Daredevil.
And out of all those, he's more the hero of the people. He's more of a hero than even Daredevil, who just is in the shadows.
Right. Yeah. He's out there.
He's a scary figure like Batman. As where Luke Cage is right out in the open.
Yeah, correct. So that would be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. I like. I like them as a buddy group.
Yeah, I mean, Luke. I mean, that's how my introduction to both those characters was in the Heroes for Hire comics. Yeah. So, yep. All right, moving back to Star Wars. Production wrapped on the young Han Solo movie, and director Ron Howard revealed the title of the movie this week was Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Interesting.
So obviously they tag
nice and simple.
Yeah, nice and simple. I mean, originally it was thought it was going to be Han Solo, a Star Wars story. Now they just dropped it down to Solo, a Star Wars story. They also, revealed I mean, Ron Howard's been pretty active on Twitter. Okay. Promoting this, this movie and his involvement in it. I'm super excited for it here. There's also he revealed a couple characters he's bringing into canon from the Dark Horse comics, Tag and Bink, from the miniseries Tag and Bink Are Dead, which is basically the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the Star Wars universe. Yeah. Where basically the comic was great because it followed these two stormtroopers or Imperial officers basically who kind of bumped in the background of all the movies. Of all the stuff that's going on. So all these major events that you see, kind of like Forrest Gump style, they're like in the background, so it's their side of it, So,
right, yeah.
If you are not familiar with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, check that out. Google that, all you youngins.
There you go.
But yeah, so now those characters are actually canon now. They're actually in.
That's interesting. All right. Have they show up in the background with Solo at some point?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
That's pretty awesome.
All right. Let's switch over back to the TV universe. Ryan Potter of Big Hero 6 is cast as Beast Boy for TV's Titans. So I think that actually rounds out the cast, I believe. Well, yeah, I think it.
Everybody, this is the final.
This is the whole. We got the whole Titans roundup. We got Robin, who's Brenton Thwaites, Starfire, who's Anna Diop, Raven, Tegan Croft, Hawk, Alan Richson, and Dove, Minka Kelly. And then add in Ryan Potter as Beast Boy.
Right.
So there you go. You got the full group.
So it's it's almost the Teen Titans that we all know and love, minus Cyborg for some reason because they use them in the movies, which, again, we see back to the Arrow universe. Why that shouldn't be a problem to use him. Right. I mean,
they've gotten away from him being on the team in the comics as well.
Yeah, but he was a founding member of the Teen Titans.
He was, yes.
And all the kids who are familiar with Teen Titans are familiar because of, the Teen Titans cartoon. Hopefully not. Hopefully the Teen Titans cartoon before that, where he's part of it. So to take him out and then add Hawk and Dove seems a little odd to me, but,
Especially since Hawk and Dove, to my knowledge, haven't been in the comics in a long time.
They were not part of the team. Well, they were never
part of the team.
Yeah, they were never on the team, so we'll see what's going on there. But, yeah, I'm glad to see that they've, they got the rest of them, though. Yeah. I mean,
so
would hate to think they had Raven without Beast Boy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everybody's favorite shipping couple. Okay, moving on to
the big one.
Thor Ragnarok reviews are starting to trickle in. A lot of the premiere happened, and a lot of the early reviews are in for industry insiders that have seen it. Very positive. It's a lot of praise for the film's originality and the humor. They say Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie and the Hulk steal the show. Some of the other comments is currently sitting at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of scores right now, but I mean, what's in there is all positive.
That's interesting because I've only read one review, and it wasn't bad, but the guy gave it 3 out of 4 stars and said it was too comedic.
That's
that it
the
doesn't
only,
take itself seriously at all.
The only criticism I've seen at all is that if you're looking for a serious, dark superhero, a la DCEU superhero film, this is not it. I've heard it's the funniest.
Yeah, even more so than Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, even more so than that. The funniest Marvel movie, if not the funniest superhero movie, in general, that's not an outright comedy. But everything I hear about it is it's got great action in it. It's got despite the fact that it's you laugh all the way through it, which I have no problem with humor.
Right. Yeah.
And we knew that's what we were getting with Taika Waititi was doing it.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with the director's work at all, he's a comedic director of small indie films, and now he's got a big budget superhero film, and it brings those sensibilities to it. I, for one, cannot wait. Because I'm such a huge Thor fan. That's why I'm super excited for this. What about you?
I am a huge Thor fan, and I'm very excited. And more than that, I am a huge Chris Hemsworth fan.
Yeah.
And those people who saw the much maligned Ghostbusters reboot know that he steals that show because he is so funny in that movie. So giving him the opportunity to really flex his comedic muscle in a superhero movie, I think is going to be really cool. Because in Avengers, he and Hulk had some of the funniest scenes in that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Hulk's in this, right? Oh
yeah,
forgot about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is a very forgettable character.
Don't listen to him.
He's a one-trick pony.
From what I hear, he's getting a really good story arc here.
Yeah, maybe if Mark Ruffalo's to be believed, but maybe he's trolling us.
Maybe he is. Who knows? I wonder when they're going to give him his phone back. So it looks like Marvel's got another hit on their hands. Now the big question is, how well is this hit going to do? We said last time it was tracking for around $100 million.
I think
you're predicting more.
I think it's going to open higher than they think, and I think Justice League's going to open for less than they think, and they're going to be very neck and neck.
Okay, because now they got it Justice League tracking about $40 million more for opening.
Yeah.
But
I
then
think
again,
those numbers are going to be
before Punisher was announced
closer
that weekend, so we'll see.
I think the numbers are going to be way closer than that, but we'll see. I mean, it's getting positive reviews. People who are not necessarily superhero fans maybe are going to read these reviews and goes, "Oh, it's funny too. Okay, maybe I'll go see that."
Yeah.
And
I just hope they're both good. I mean, I'm looking forward to Justice League despite the fact that Hulk's not in it. So. Even with that handicap, it still looks like a good movie, so I'm super excited for that. Well, actually, this week we don't have any comic book news for you because, we didn't read any this week.
And they were the few stories I saw were just kind of like, meh, that sounds really kind of
the big one was
silly.
like Batman, like the nightmare suit from Batman vs. Superman's in the comics now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That was a big one. Like, he's wearing a trench coat. Okay.
Yeah.
Over his bat suit with goggles. All right. But we do have a big story in gaming news. WizKids, the company that makes the popular HeroClix miniature game, one of our favorites, where Marvel and DC characters, pre-painted action figures.
Right. Yeah, it's a really fun game.
It is a great game. They've just signed a multi-year deal to bring the IP property for Games Workshop, the creators of 40K. Yeah. To make games based on their IP, board games, dice games, and more. Now, just so you know, I actually worked for Games Workshop for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. Their philosophy was always, we're never going to do pre-painted miniatures.
Yeah.
It's a hobby. It's a high-end hobby. If you're into Warhammer 40K, you know how high-end I'm talking about. It's,
It's a little pricey.
Yeah. You either have a girlfriend or a Warhammer hobby. You can't really afford both. But it is a great game. But now they're actually branching out more, and to see that they have, now it doesn't say there's going to be.
It doesn't say there will be any specific type of game.
Warhammer HeroClix is probably not happening anytime soon.
However, they can get around that by saying, we're not making pre-painted miniatures. We're allowing somebody else to make pre-painted miniatures of our stuff. but this is not us. This is not our hobby stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Whether we're splitting hairs or not.
No, they had a long deal with Fantasy Flight for the longest time, making board games off their properties, which had a bunch of really great board games that came out. And they've also dabbled in their own, like with Space Hulk.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see. WizKids makes good stuff. GW makes great stuff. So we'll see what comes out of that. If they make good games, that's all that really matters. That's
Yeah.
So whether it's dice games, board
who cares
games,
about your philosophy GW
or pre-painted miniatures?
If they're cool, if it's cool to have a Clicks game with Space Marines and whatnot, then it's good. Then go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd love to see a Clicks game with Space Marines and Tau and
I don't know
stuff like that. I think it'd be awesome.
I don't know. I think playing it would make me want to paint the real thing.
Well, maybe.
Hey, that may be part of the ploy.
There you go.
And get the kids in with the hero clicks, and then make them drop their college investment on 40K armies. Well, folks, that's what we have this week for you. Like I said, a lot of big movies coming out soon.
Yep.
So there's gonna be all kinds of crazy news dropping every week. So join us next week when we round up all of next week's nerd news for you in one, easy to digest package at the end of the week. Be sure to leave comments below. Tell us what you thought of the stories we had this week. Tell us what stories you want to cover in future episodes. Also, like, subscribe, check out our other shows on the channel. If you want to support the channel, there's a link to our Patreon down below. Any little bit helps, $1. If you're one of our Ruby fans, you get access to our Ruby reviews or Ruby reactions early, plus some behind the scenes and bloopers and all kinds of fun stuff, T-shirts and whatnot. So be sure to check that out, and we will see you next week.
It's a great time to be a geek.
It is.
Bye.